This is the 2026 Porsche Cayenne Coupe. Does it have everything you want? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. We're back at Porsche Shreveport, here in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more about this particular model or anything else they have in inventory, check out the link down in the description of the video. And here's something you may not know about. Some of you likely do, but maybe there's some that don't. The exterior color on this model is called Carrera White. You can get the matching color of your Cayenne, or any other Porsche model for that matter, with your key fob. You can see everything that's here on the key fob. Obviously the Porsche crest right there, lock, unlock, you can open and close your power tailgate. All the things you expect to be here are going to be here. This model will come with all-wheel drive and 22-inch wheels. There is going to be a spare tire located in the rear cargo area, and our full LED lighting here on the front end. In fact, we'll go over here. It might be a little bit easier to see the lights. They are turned on right now. Everything is LED. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, and LED turn signal indicators. Now that flickering effect you see on the screen is not really happening. That's just through the lens of my camera. And in typical Porsche fashion, you're not going to have anything here that is a faux vent, something like that. Everything is going to be real and open. It's not just here for looks. Obviously, you're going to have the Porsche logo right here, or the crest on the hood, and a very pronounced look as far as what this Cayenne represents. Plenty of power under the hood, great handling characteristics. It looks sporty, it looks elegant, it looks aggressive. All of those boxes are checked off, that's for sure. And we'll work our way around to this angle and take a good look at the 22-inch wheels. And we're going to find turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors. They're going to be heated, power adjustable. You will also find your blind spot monitoring built in. This model will have a panoramic sunroof. However, that panoramic sunroof is one piece of affixed glass. It doesn't open. So in case you were curious about that, there's the answer to that question. And the rear roof spoiler is going to be functional. It looks great, but obviously providing functionality at the same time. We have our spoiler right here in gloss black. That matches nicely with the exterior color. Now we will find LED taillights here on the rear, and I like the fact that you have the light that goes all the way across. It just gives it that little extra added value that you don't get with a lot of vehicles. Obviously the Porsche and Cayenne logos will be here, and it wouldn't be complete if you didn't have the quad tip exhaust here on the rear. Speaking of exhaust, what exactly is being exhausted? Let's open the hood and we'll find out. Under the hood is the 3-liter turbocharged 6-cylinder engine. It puts out a plentiful 348 horsepower and 368 pounds-feet of torque, made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 is 5.7 seconds. If you have the Sport Chrono package, that 0 to 60 will drop to 5.4 seconds, and the top speed is 154 miles per hour. How about the potential MPGs? I say potential because these are basically estimated. 17 city, 23 highway, 19 combined, and 5.3 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. And that does obviously depend on a number of variables, depending on how you drive, where you drive, things like that. And one thing I didn't show earlier in the video is you also have these soft closed doors. That's going to be with the front doors and the rear doors as well. The gas tank size is 23.7 gallons in capacity on a single tank of gas. Again, these are estimated numbers. You may be able to pull off 402 miles in the city. Out on the highway, that number could potentially jump to 545 miles. You can tow a max 7,716 pounds, and there are several ways to open the power tailgate, including the hands-free feature where you just kick your foot under the bumper, as I did right there. Now, this cargo cover is removable, so if you want to take that out, you can. And when you go with your cargo capacity, you have a couple of different ranges. If you're taking advantage of that, 27.3 up to 60.3 cubic feet, depending on how you set things up. Now, I did tell you that there is a spare tire here. There it is, and the tools to change that tire. You will also find your LED cargo area lighting back here, as there is nice lighting to help you out after dark, and have a little bit of space over here on the side in addition to everything else that we have here. And you have a few different ways again that you can close the tailgate, the power tailgate. You can use the button on the interior, the button on the remote. You can also use this button to just close it. If you want to close and lock the interior, that's the button on the right. The interior is black and Mojave beige. Plenty of room with the armrest, and it is nice and comfortable. You will find the Bose Surround Premium Audio and nice large door bins right here. Plenty of room and a panoramic sunroof. Now that glass is affixed in place, so it doesn't open. It does have some tint built into it, but you can draw the shade forward right there if you want to completely conceal that away. And there is plenty of room here in the rear seating area, a total of 4 zones of climate control. So 2 in the front, 2 in the rear, and you will also find the heated seats here in the rear. We'll find the 12-volt power outlet and a couple of USB ports right there. And then one more thing about managing your cargo space that I know some of you might want to know about. You can lower the middle seat back by itself and create a pass-through. And as you can see, you have some recline that you can change. You can change the position of these seat backs, basically, whether you recline them or bring them back up to more of an upright position, depending on what everybody wants where that is concerned. And a little bit more space inside of the rear seat pockets located on the back of each seat. The sticker price is $123,360. Again, we're going to have large armrests, plenty of room with the door bin, and you'll notice seat memory here on the passenger side right here. That means you're going to also have that on the driver's side. All of your controls are here for your seat adjustments, power adjustable seats, lumbar support, and you can change the position of the thigh extender right there. You can see that coming out. So depending on what people like where that is concerned, they can adjust things accordingly. We'll also have the Cayenne logo right there on the door sill. And let me hop inside here and show you the screen for the passenger. Now there's one interesting thing about this, and I'll show you what that is in just a second, but just to show you what's here as far as all of the different features and functionality go, you've got navigation right here, obviously music, phone, everything's here that you need as far as that goes, and you can even see what's going on with the vehicle as far as how fast it's going and the direction with the compass right there. All of that is here. Now, if you're sitting in the driver's seat, you can't actually see that screen. So that's meant to keep that from being a distraction to the driver, but obviously there's the center screen that the driver will be able to take full advantage of. And speaking of the driver's seat, just so you can see how things look from that vantage point, there you go. Here is the driver's display. Now you have a digital driver's display, but it has the analog gauges. And you also have your digital speedometer there in the center, but a little bit of a combination of old school, new school, all of that stuff's going to be here. In typical Porsche fashion, the button to start and stop the engine will be located on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, and this is your shifter. So we're gonna just push that down to go into drive, push it up to go into reverse, and you can see our different camera views, and there are plenty. Depending on what you need to see and where you need to see, you can take advantage of all of that. You can even just use your finger to work your way around however you want to do things. It makes it super simple. So that's nice to have. We go back into park just like that, pushing that P right there. Here are your steering wheel mounted controls. You'll also have your shifter paddles on the back. Everything for your windshield wipers located right there. Your turn signal indicators. This model being spec'd out as it was, did have the turn signals spec'd in, so if you buy this model, you can use your turn signals. Yes, I'm being a little sarcastic with that. It's okay to laugh. And cruise control managed right here. And we'll take a look at our upper console. This is the control for opening and closing the power shade that I mentioned to you earlier in the video. There that is. And obviously you can turn your lights on and off right there as far as the dome lights go. This is for the rear. And then we have the front lights right here. So depending on what you need to do, you can do that. Very easy to deal with. And how about your driving modes? Very easy to deal with. Let's see what all we have as far as that is concerned. Now you're going to start with normal. You can go into sport mode. We'll have Sport Plus. and I went maybe a little backwards there. We can go all the way back to off-road right here. But depending on what you need, you can have the appropriate driving mode for your situation or your desires. As far as the center screen goes, very simple to use. It's not an overload. I like that because you don't have a ton of sub-menus to deal with. One thing to note right here for those of you that don't like the auto stop start feature, now depending on the drive mode you're in, if you're in sport mode, it's going to automatically turn that off. However, if I go back to normal, then it turns it back on. And if that is highlighted in blue like it is, that means it's active. If you check it over to the left-hand side and you see the gray dot instead, that means it is turned off. And you have everything here with assistance as far as that goes. You've got your different modes and all that kind of stuff, depending on what you want to use right there, or you can leave that off. It's pretty simple. Like I say, there's so many things here to learn, but it's not overly complicated. You've got a lot of different features and functionality that are going to make life pretty easy for you. If you want your trip information, here is where you're going to find that. That's going to be nice and simplistic to deal with. And if you go to comfort right here, well, there are a few things you can work with. You've got ambient lighting. You can work with the driver's seat. We'll go in there and take a quick look. You can go with the heating balance, the ventilation balance. These are heated and ventilated seats here in the front seat area. And then we also can adjust the passenger seat if we want to. We can go right there and have a little bit of fun with that. So depending on what you want to do with that, easy to deal with. Built-in navigation is here, but obviously you can pair your smartphone and use whatever app you want to. You can listen to music if you so desire to do that. And hopefully I caught that in time to avoid a copyright strike from YouTube, but we can deal with that if need be because that was coming from the radio. Now, you can obviously go in and manage things with your phone depending on what you want to do with that. It's so easy to do, you almost don't need someone to show this to you. Now, depending on what you want to do, you can keep this area concealed away, but what is here is your wireless charging pad right there. You're going to have a couple of USB options, and then everything for managing your air conditioning will be here. You can also manage your heated, 3 stages of heated seats, ventilated seats as well. 3 stages there for the driver and the passenger. Everything here is pretty easy to deal with if you want to sync both sides together. A little note, if you don't see that line underneath, that means that area or that option is not selected. When you see the line underneath like you do under sync now, then that is selected. This is the volume knob. You can deal with that however you need to. A little bit of storage here, cup holders, and another 12-volt power outlet. And then a reasonable amount of space, well, we'll say a little bit of space within the center console, and the center console lid can be used as an armrest. All right, here we go on the test drive. A couple of quick notes. A couple of things I didn't mention earlier in the video. You have a nice bright head-up display. Obviously that's adjustable, so you can go in and make changes to that if you want to. And speaking of adjustability, on the left-hand side of the steering column, you will find a control that allows you to adjust the position of the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescopically adjustable, so a lot of adjustability built in for all the different people who may drive the Cayenne. Depending on your height, it's not going to matter. You can set everything up as you need to. Now, I am in sport mode. We're not going to go too crazy, but obviously plenty of power here to have plenty of fun and great handling characteristics, but that's also balanced with a comfortable ride quality. And obviously that's going to depend on what driving mode you are in, but there are so many cool things going on here that you can do to customize your driving experience. Depending on what it is you want, you can do that. And if you want to get the most out of your Cayenne, that little button you might have just seen me push right there on the center of the drive mode selector gives you all of the horsepower and torque available from the motor for 20 seconds. I'm not going to get on it super duper hard, but you'll see a countdown start, and you probably can't see that on the screen, but you will see a countdown start on there from 20 down to 0, and it gives you that burst of power for just a few seconds. Well, 20 seconds, it's a little more than just a few, but it definitely gives you the advantage if you need to pass a slower moving vehicle on a 2-lane road when it's safe to do so, or just go around that slow poke out on the highway, whatever the situation is. You can do that. There's so many different things you can do here. As far as just practical driving, obviously that is something the Cayenne delivers as well. Comfortable seats for the driver and passengers, plenty of room. I don't feel cramped at all. Very easy to manage gas and brake pedal, very responsive steering, doesn't have a lot of play in it, so you feel like you're very much in control, especially if you start pushing the envelope of the capabilities of this Cayenne when it comes to its overall handling characteristics. I'd say it checks off a lot of boxes that a lot of you are looking to check off, and obviously there are additional options that aren't here for those of you that may want, well, more, we'll say, and you're willing to spend a little bit more. And there it is, the 2026 Porsche Cayenne Coupe. Does it have everything you want? You're gonna have to tell me down in the comments section what you think. I'd like to say a special thanks to my friends at Porsche Shreveport for loaning me this Cayenne for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Please make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.